Well, hey there, it's Bobby, aka Paginator, and today we're doing something a little bit different for this channel. So, a week or two ago, I got this crazy idea in my head, and I decided to go for it. So, I have been really interested lately in collaborative art projects, like creating things with other people. Janie over at the Crafting Bookworm and I have something in the works. I'm not going to tell you what it is yet. You'll have to wait for a little bit to find out what that is. But I am going to do a joint art project with our art teacher. So if you're new to my channel, I am a language arts teacher in a middle school, and I reached out to the art teacher, who is amazing, and she was willing to jump in on this with me. So I have this canvas here, and I'm going to be doing some collaging on it, adding some texture paste, different mixed media things, and then she's going to paint on top of it. And every year we have an art show as a fundraiser for our PBIS program, which stands for Positive Behavior Interventions and Support. It's a program that helps kids build responsible behaviors and make good choices and things. So the money that we raise goes to buying rewards for kids and supplies for games that we play with them. And we do this big Olympics thing with the kids. They're divided up into teams and they compete throughout the whole year. Anyway, all of the funds that we raise are going to help for that program. So today we're going to get started. Now, when I went and bought this canvas, they had a pack of 3 for $10, and I thought, you know what, this is good. I should get multiple, because if I screw up the first one, then she's never going to want to work with me ever again. So I hedged my bets, and I've got a couple of extra canvases just in case I totally mess this up. I have gone ahead and gathered some papers, and these are just some papers torn out of a Reader's Digest bind up. There's some with illustrations. I'm probably just going to use the text side of them. This page, I'm not sure if I'm going to actually use. The color is absolutely amazing. It's from a Delineator magazine. It's 100 years old. The reason I'm unsure about it is twofold. One, it's so beautiful. I don't want to tear it into pieces and stuff. And two, there are images on here, and I want her image that she creates to be the focal point. So we'll think about that one. I have some kind of glossy book pages, which is some text from an old book about activities for kids. This is paper that you should be familiar with if you've seen my channel with junk journals. This is from my German book that has the old Gothic font on it. Up next we have some sheet music here, and then I have 2 pieces of Tim Holtz tissue paper collage stuff. I've got this Mod Podge brush made by the people that make Mod Podge, and I have super matte Mod Podge. Now, if I get really brave, I also snuck this piece of lace, and I don't want to put the whole thing on here, but I might find a place to put a piece of lace, because I use lace in everything. It's part of my style of stuff. Let's see, let's kind of clear this off, and I guess just start putting things down. I'm scared I'm gonna mess it up, you guys. One thing you won't be able to see in frame is when I tear the papers down. I'm probably just gonna use a ruler and just tear, because most of these papers are quite old. But this canvas does have a single piece of wood in the middle for support, but I don't want to put extra pressure on here, so I'll do that off camera when I do the tearing and such. I had thought about inking around all the pieces with Distress Oxide, but then I thought, no, let's not overcomplicate what's already a scary thing for me to do. So Okay, we are covered now. So I did end up using the really old paper. You can see it really makes a beautiful color contrast, all those dark browns. This darker sheet music is a piece of scrapbook paper that was in my desk. I kind of pulled out my desk drawer to make a surface for tearing and stuff, and it was sitting in there, and I'm like, oh, I'll use some of that too. My favorite piece is right here. This is from that really old paper. It comes from a Delineator magazine, if you're wondering, and it says Art Amateurs $1. It's like, hey, that's me. I'm an art amateur. So this needs to dry really well before I add any texture paste to it. So I will come back in a little while once we're ready for the next step. Alright, we're back. This is dry. I have done a tiny bit of touch up on like a corner here and there, just a couple things that need to be smushed back down, but the places where I want to stencil texture paste are dry. I also went around the edges and made sure any like little bits were completely smushed down with the Mod Podge and all that stuff. So I feel like it's time to add texture paste. I'm not going to do it all over everything, and especially not in the middle. In the spots where I have lace, which is going to be down here, up here, and up here, I'm going to add some texture paste. So that's where like our textured elements are going to be, in those 3 spots to do in a regular triangle. And we're going to be using this stencil here. I went through my pack of stencils and really struggled to pick one because I have some really great options, but this is the one that I went with. And we're not going to do the whole entire thing, just going to do little bits in the areas where the lace is. So I have opaque crackle paste. I have some translucent crackle paste too, but I wanted the opaque white because I wanted it to be noticeable. So we're going to get some on my palette knife here, and we're just going to do a little patch of this stencil. Lift. Alright, the stencil did shift a teensy tiny bit, but I'm not going to cry. It's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. Now, if you're doing something like this and you're going to use the same spot on your stencil, probably be okay, but if you want to use a different spot, you might want to clean at least the back of this, just so that you don't like be stenciling here and then get some texture paste where you don't want it. I think I'm just going to stick with the same spot of the stencil because it's just a good representation of the pattern. So we're going to come down here, hold you still. No! And one more spot up here. Alright, now what Randy, our art teacher, is probably going to paint on here is a buffalo, which is our school mascot. And I'm thinking that there's plenty of room here to add a buffalo. She might change her mind to do something else because, you know, artists, sometimes you just have to change the plans. But once this texture paste dries, I feel like it's going to be ready for her to take over. The art show that we're doing this for isn't until May, and as it is now, this is February. So I honestly don't know when she's going to have time to work on this. She is newlywed, and she also is a mom of 2 middle school boys. So in addition to teaching, she's also very busy outside of teaching hours. So we're just going to kind of wait and see what she does when she has time to do it. My plan as far as following up on this project with the video is to just take some pictures, When she is done, if she will let me make a little video, maybe I'll do that as well. And then we'll let you know what happens with the art show when it happens. But as I said, it's going to be a while. So I think that's going to be it for this video. Once this texture paste dries, I'm going to take some good still images with my nice camera, and I'll add those in at the end of the video so you can see some close-ups of the surface and that. So let me know in the comments below if you've done anything like this before and what your thoughts are on collaborating with other artists to do fun projects. And I guess we'll see you in the next one. Have a wonderful, magical, and bookish day. Happy reading, crafting, or journaling. Adios.